Thank you.
And this was sent via email. If you guys have a chance to read it, if you get a copy.
Yeah.
All right. We have an extra, or you're both here for the Fort Hill? Yeah. Okay. Easy enough. No alternates, no additions to the agenda, and we'll get right to the minutes. Is there any discussion on the minutes? No, Chris, you weren't here, so.
Motion to accept the minutes.
We have a motion to accept. Do we have a second? We have a second. All those in favor of accepting the minutes from last meeting?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion is carried. Minutes are accepted from the May 2025 Waterways Commission meeting. There is no audience of citizens, and let's get right down to old business. Mr. Grenier.
I'm gonna put this up here because I walked out without my easel. For the record, John Felice from Boundaries. Carl's obviously also here. We presented this the initial time about 2 meetings ago, I believe. That was prior to the submission of the application. We went through it. We did receive some feedback from the commission and from the enforcement officer, Joe, in terms of some changes or alterations that were requested, and those have been made. Those started with shifting the road a couple of feet further to the east to pull it further away from the wetland area. So we did do that. We kept about a 3-foot buffer at the edge of the property line. But as you know, the current road extends over the property line, so that would be pulled back into the subject property. But we did shift that over a couple of more feet to give us a little bit more of a cushion here. The other thing we added was the placement of wetland placards along the wetland boundary in several locations. I brought one of those samples with me last meeting. I know you weren't all here, but it's the fiberglass green post that goes in the ground, and it says wetland delineation on it.
Permanent.
It's the same thing we use to mark permanent monuments on sides of roadways and things, and the state uses orange ones for monumentation, let's say, as the highway. But they are permanent, they stay there, and they won't rot away and fall over either. The other thing that was requested that we added was a turbidity curtain just inside the wetland boundary to be placed during the work activity. And we kind of added to that a little bit in terms of identifying the location of a potential turbidity curtain with the construction detail for it. And a note on the plan that says that it would be installed if standing water is present during the time of construction. If this is done in the dry season and there's no water present, we provided an alternative for stake hay bales at the wetland edge, and that stake hay bale detail is on the plan as well. That's in addition to the sediment fence that's already depicted on the down gradient side of all of the construction activity. So you have sediment fence that would go in, then either the stake hay bales at the wetland edge or a turbidity curtain if there was standing water present during the time of the work. Those are the only changes that we've made to the plan that's been submitted. You do have an application, you do have the required fee at this point. In all of the plans details in terms of what we discussed previously are still on here and incorporated into this in terms of regrading the sloped portion of this as you're going up the hill and actually creating a swale to divert that stormwater through a series of check dams and into a riprap scour hole. We have a riprap or stone edge on the driveway throughout the wetland area. And then we've also pulled the driveway onto the property and identified the areas that there are stockpiled or concrete that is amassed now that will be removed during this activity. So other than that, we have not made any changes to the plan other than the additions that were requested previously. Any questions?
Good to me. Yeah. So everything you asked for, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else have any questions, comments?
It was mentioned in the minutes, third-party engineer with
Right. You had
inspections or?
Yeah, you had mentioned that previously. And so if that's, if that's a condition of the commission's action, then that's what it will be. It wouldn't be us because we did the plan, so it would have to be an independent engineer that reviewed that. Or, depending on your preference, for Joe for inspections during work. I mean, there should be a pre-construction meeting, so that everybody's on the same page before the work starts. And then, however, the commission or Joe feels as though monitoring the activity is best appropriate, then that's what we'll.
I personally don't have an issue monitoring it. I'm not gonna camp out there, but I can do inspections. It's up to you guys if you feel a third-party engineer is necessary.
I think if we do a pre-con, what's it?
What are we gonna do on as-built when we're done?
Yeah, I mean, that was another thing that was discussed as an as-built of the completed work as well. But if the commission is comfortable with a pre-construction meeting, that would be us, Joe, and the applicant, and his contractor, and then inspections during the work. I think you're gonna be fairly well protected.
Yep.
And if the commission feels an as-built is necessary, then that can come at the end as well.
Yeah, as long as I get from you that is done and qualified, I don't think we need an as-built.
That's fine.
Mr. Grenier, are you planning on doing the work yourself?
No.
Okay.
No, you did ask about the neighbor though, and the stuff that was on it, and that's John Moran, who's the joining neighbor.
How you doing, Mr. Grenier?
Across.
Thank you for coming in.
My allowed to speak?
Yeah, by all means, go ahead.
Right. John Moran, 361 Pendleton Mill Road. Kyle informed me that there's some materials left on my side of the line.
Yes.
When this is all done, he says he's gonna remove it.
Yep, and if you look on this, it actually shows the area that it's all.
Yeah, he already explained that to me. We walked it. And I'm okay with it.
All right, great. Thank you so much for letting us know. We wanted to make sure that you got the message and
Yep, no, he asked me to come.
fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, that's everything.
It's a little more than the stuff. The logger actually came on their property for bulldozer.
Remove the road.
So let the record know that he knows about it, he's seen it.
All right, so you're aware, you've actually walked the property, you're aware of everything that's there. And
Yeah,
that's all
what's
you're-
on my side, yeah, it's not, I mean, it's just asphalt, it's whatever, it's not a whole lot.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think, they'll get it removed, and.
Okay,
it is what-
as long as you're aware of it and okay with it, then
Yep.
they're.
No,
fine
I know
with
the
it.
question came up in the previous meeting, so.
Yep.
He asked me or wanted me to come, so.
I appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
Really good.
Thank you.
I think we're good. I think there's only two things to discuss, not to do with you. One is the pre-construction meeting. Is there any discussion about them having a pre-discussion meeting? Does anybody have a motion for the pre-discussion meeting that we added to the requirement?
We could if Joe's gonna attend,
Well, he would be a part of the, he
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
Mr. Thoreau.
That's
the
always a
three-
good
the three
idea.
of
That's what we do every day at work, so, yeah.
All right, so I'm actually gonna take this step by step. So, for the pre-construction meeting, do we have a motion,
Yeah,
motion to add
that's a condition, yeah.
as a condition? We have a motion to add a pre-construction meeting as a condition to the permit. Do we have a second? Do we have a second? You made the motion.
Oh, yeah.
All those in favor of a pre-construction meeting as a addition to the permit requirement? All those against or opposed? The ayes have it, the motion's carried. Second thing is going to be for a notification from Mr. Grenier upon, before any work begins to Mr. Thoreau, that when work is commenced, so that an appropriate amount of oversight can be provided during the work that is being done. Do we have any discussion about that particular item? So what we're talking about is that before any work is done on the actual property, that notification is made to Mr. Thoreau. Do we have a motion?
I do have a question about,
Yes.
if we're having the pre-con meeting, isn't that the same thing? Like, they're not gonna have the meeting till they get ready to work. I'm
Right.
assuming.
Right.
Would that be the same thing that he's
No,
aware? that
is it the
starting?
same thing, or is it when they actually put a shovel in the ground?
It doesn't matter to me, as long as I'm notified, all I was gonna do is say, hey, listen, we're
Well, that's,
gonna get started.
That's-
It is a
that's-
separate entity.
it is a separate issue, because I would prefer that he is made aware, in case there's an extended period between the meeting and the actual work being done, so That way there can be oversight, and that way, and it's also for your benefit, Mr. Grenier, because if there's anything that isn't absolutely black and white, it can be resolved on site rather than having to come back and go through this meeting and all that other thing. So having the oversight, that way you can ask questions if there's any changes or anything like that. You already have the subject matter expert, taking a look at it. So we will look for a motion for notification from Mr. Renier to Mr. Stroh prior to the commencement of work on site. We have a motion.
Sure, motion.
We have a motion for notification to be made. Do we have a second? We have a second for the notification made. All those in favor of notification being made by Mr. Grenier and Mr. Thoreau prior to work actually commencing? Any of those opposed? The motion carries. Last but not least is going to be on the permit as applied and the fee has been paid. All those in favor of the permit with the two additional items for requirements on the permit, do we have any discussion about it?
Make a motion to approve the.
We have a motion to approve the permit with the two conditional issues that have been approved. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a couple of seconds. I'll leave that up to you. All those in favor of approving the permit for Mr. Grenier with the two conditions that we previously spoke of in this night's meeting?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries, permit is approved.
Question. Can I put in the silt fence and the hay bales before?
But that's gonna be with, the agent is gonna be, like I said, this gives you the flexibility to contact the agent and do what, with his approval, yeah. So that just makes your life a lot easier. Now you have one point of contact, and barring no other issues, you don't have to go back to getting any approvals through us. It'll go directly through Mr. Thoreau. All right. Okay, great. Thank you, sir. Now moving on, Forge Hill Bridge replacement application. The application was made at the last meeting. Oh, thank you very much again, Mr. Moran. Appreciate you coming in. You could have sent a note. It would have been cool. I got you. So the application was made at the previous meeting, the fees were paid, and everything else was done, and off you go.
We discussed last month is the replacement of the bridge on Forge Hill Road, right next to the intersection of Wiley Schoolhouse and North Shore Road. The bridge was previously damaged, being repaired and upgraded to meet the requirements of the state and federal permit requirements. We provide this photo plan to show temporary and permanent impacts in the silt fence. Silt fence is in red. And permanent impacts in the dark blue and temporary impacts in the lighter blue. In the channel itself, to facilitate construction, there is a temporary bridge proposed with this due to the length of the detour at the request of the town. There is some wetland impact along the east side of Wiley School Road. There's a little drainage channel there that's going to be upgraded as part of the project. Questions you folks may have, but appreciate it.
Are there any questions about the Forge Hill Bridge and bypass, correct? You're gonna have a
There'll be a
bypass there
temporary-
as well, temporary bypass. So there will be a bypass coming down from Forge Hill in case you have anybody with a boat trailer, and that way they don't have try to reverse themselves all the way back up the hill, so.
Which, it's gonna be north or south of the current bridge.
You said it was on the west side, right? or something?
Page here. It's gonna be right this channel, yeah.
Okay.
And so, the temporary alignment to be through here, the temporary bridge downstream.
Okay.
That'll be the duration of the construction.
Nice.
It's just to avoid any,
No, that was my big thing. when we
that
started
was
with the
actually,
town.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually, now you think about it, because there will be a number of people, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't sitting on this commission, it'd probably be me, so, yeah. Inevitably.
You say oops, it's okay.
Okay, is there any other discussion on we have the permit application, fees been paid, everything's been done, we're voting on the permit. Is there any questions, any comments about the permit itself?
Mhm.
Hearing none, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the permit.
We have a motion approved. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second to approve the permit. All those in favor of approving the permit, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion passes. The permit is approved. Gentlemen, thank you again.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming out. Is there any new business? Taylor. Is there any correspondence? Taylor. Okay. Any other business discussion? Hearing none. We are to what Steve has been, looking forward to since he sat down. We'll go eat. Do we have a motion for